All right, so the movement pattern we're going to talk about now is a rowing pattern. It's a little bit more advanced than the three-point contact row because you're coming off of the implement. You're not going to have any support except for your own body. So I'm going to use the kettlebell to show off this movement. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a cooler, your backpack, whatever, right? So there are a couple different variations we can do with this movement pattern. Here's the general setup, all right? The general setup looks a lot like a hinge pattern. It is a hinge pattern. So if you haven't watched the video on a hinge deadlift pattern, go back and look at that to make sure you're confident with getting into that setup. So I'm going to soften up my knees. I'm going to push my hips back. I'm going to make sure I turn my abs on so my back is nice and straight. And then I'm going to row. So I can have a dumbbell or a kettlebell in each hand, and I can pull it up like this, right? Let's show that with the backpack. So I've got my backpack. I'm in my nice hinge position here. I drop it down. I pull it up. I drop it down. I pull it up. Now you can see that I run into my chest with the backpack, so there's not as much range of motion using this. That's okay. If I wanted to modify the straps, I could a little bit. There's a couple different things I can do here. So I can get into this position. I can lower it down and bring it up. It's a little clunky. I'd rather have a kettlebell or a dumbbell if I have access to it, but that works just perfectly fine. Now I have a kettlebell here. If I had two kettlebells, I could bend over, get my abs turned on, and I could pull, right? Just stopping right at the sides, just like that. So you can do that. If you want to advance the movement a little bit more, you can just do one side at a time. I really like this variation because it makes you control your side-to-side movement as well. So you don't want to turn while you do it. So it's got to use the sides of your body too. So I'm going to pick up the kettlebell. I'm going to let my free hand hang here. And I'm going to drive, pull, drive. There you go. So there are a couple different options for the open-ended rowing pattern, not using a bench.